Can you hear me and see me? I'm finally on here. I had a malfunction. Uh, Hopefully somebody's on here. Please say hi if you can hear me and see me. I'm using a different computer. My other computer, I had a new webcam installed on it and thought everything was working. It didn't work. It just all crashed out. I had no cameras, nothing. Anyway, I did log on at 4 and as scheduled, but please let me know if you hear me and see me. I hope I didn't lose everybody. I know I had half a dozen people waiting there. Hi, guy. Oh, good. Good. We got some people. I'm sorry about that. I actually logged on at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting. Uh, that sucks. A brand new webcam, and I thought I had it all working, and anyways, it just didn't work. Uh, so before we get into the meat of today's topic, I wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Christmas in 5 days. Uh, if anybody's wondering, I take a size 1970 Chevelle. If you're buying any Christmas gifts, if you're still shopping, hopefully everybody's ready for Christmas. I'm kind of ready. I'm ready for the holidays. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too. Yeah, anyway, I wanted to also mention I'm wearing lots of Garage Inc. garb here. Look at this. Look what they gave me. Uh, Beautiful. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. And I wanted to say that today's video is sponsored by Garage Inc. Our good friends Kyle and Polly, they visited me was it Monday of last week, and come bearing gifts. I got this jacket, this beautiful jacket with my crest on it, and I'm actually wearing a whole bunch of stuff. Let me show you what else I got on here. So the this is some of the stuff you can get at Garage Inc. So that's my car on there, and it's the same on the back, as well as I'm wearing a T-shirt here as well. Everything's backwards. Yeah, there we go. Look, that's my car. It's all created by Kyle at Garage Inc. And they made some hats as well. I'm not wearing one today because my head's too small. Kyle's making me another hat. But so these are the hats. I've got 4 of these. He mentioned we might do a giveaway. I'm kind of excited about that. So if you guys look at this logo, so this is actually, I hope I explained this properly. He can make things out of acrylic now. So this is actually 3-dimensional. It's a 3-dimensional piece on there that he made. And I'm seeing my logo in dimension now. That's kind of cool. So this is made out of acrylic, and the color goes right through there. So he can have these in several different colors. And yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. Anyway, that's a flex fit cap, beautiful hats, and they all have the Gary the Gear logo on there. We've got 4 of them, 2 smalls, 2 larges, and Kyle's suggesting we do a giveaway on the channel. So we're going to have to talk more about that. We're so close to Christmas, and I want to, we'll figure out some way. Maybe you guys have an idea of what you would like. If anybody's interested in some Gary the Gear hats, absolutely. Let me know. We'll come up with some kind of giveaway deal for that. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much to the folks at Garage Inc. Beautiful coats and shirts and hats, and there's actually a banner right there. There's something else you can get from Garage Inc. They do all kinds of things: mugs, obviously T-shirts, shirts, jackets, things with your car on it. Anything you want. They're capable. They're very talented artists there at Garage Inc. Both Polly and Kyle. She's been making Christmas ornaments as well recently, so all kinds of stuff. So yeah, they've sponsored today's video. Thank you very much, guys. We're gonna do a giveaway coming up very shortly here. So yeah, the whole topic of, so recently I did a bunch of research on what's happening with our classic car market. There's a bunch of videos out there, and I read some documents on this whole thing. Since 2021, roughly, the market has been getting soft. It's been dropping off, and some people are really concerned about it. Personally, I'm gonna let you know exactly where I stand on this thing. I'm not a car collector. I am an enthusiast. So, for me personally, and my car fits right into the category of stuff that's kind of taken a dive. The average muscle car. Mine's a clone. So, uh, guys that are collecting the high end Mopar cars, the numbers matching stuff, the stuff that's always been super high as far as values go, they're not really going to see a whole lot of change. In fact, I watched some interesting videos today, in fact, and yesterday regarding this topic. Aside from the research I did, the last couple of weeks, there was a company or American Dream Car Garage. So this is one guy that's doing a whole bunch of videos. He's got a series of 4 videos, and he's a collector. He's taken some cars out of his collection, and then he's shown up at places like Mecca, and he's using Haggerty numbers and seeing where these cars sell at. And it's kind of interesting. So he's going to have a series of 4. He's only uploaded 2 videos so far. One covered a bunch of Chevys, I think half a dozen of them, and then the other video covered some Fords today. And he was matching up, how far these things have come down in value. Well, I tell you what, not a lot. I for some stuff, it's really confusing. So I watched several things on this, and I read a lot of documents on this. And there's a whole bunch of cars that are going through auction that are not meeting reserve, so they're not getting sold. And then again, you get ones that are selling, and they could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 lower than market value, or suggested by Hart Haggerty. So yeah, the stuff's coming down a little bit, but uh, I'm not the guy I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna look at the positive side of this thing. I like to think that maybe this means that more people can get into the hobby if the numbers of these or the prices of these cars are coming down. Uh, Maybe there's another car I can buy because of this. Uh, I was never, most of the people that watch this channel never really got into the hobby for the financial aspect, or as a collect. Most of the people that watch this channel are not collectors. Uh, we're mostly enthusiasts, and for the average enthusiast, we're not. We can't afford the $200,000 car, or you know the Hemi Cuda convertible that sold for $1.5 million. Those days are gone. Uh, that wasn't going to last forever. The stuff was all coming down in value. I remember, when things were at their peak, one of my favorite cars, it was a 70 Chevelle uh, record holder at NHRA. It was convertible, and it sold for, I forget how many millions of dollars. And then a couple years later, it sold for like 40 grand or 50 grand or something like that. It was just crazy. The guy was going to pull the decals off and daily it. Like, why not? So somebody really lost their shirt on that. But those days are gone. They're long gone. And this could mean good things for, maybe younger people wanting to get into the hobby. Uh, maybe there's several of us now that could look at cars that we couldn't look at in the past. Like I say, some of the high end Mopar stuff. I see Mr. Mandershed's on here. Uh, thanks, thanks for tuning in. It's nice to see you. You're connected to a lot of high end stuff. I don't know that a lot of those cars are going to come down very much. The high end collector stuff is going to stay there. It's the stuff that I drive that's going to drop in value. A lot of the Chevelles and Mustangs and Novas and stuff like that. Anyway, Chevelle sold for 4.5 million. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. That's right. That 70 Chevelle LS6 car record holder, and then somebody just lost their shirt on it when it resold. It came out of that collection and resold to another guy, and he said he was going to pull the decals off and daily it. It was ridiculous. Anyway, yes. Merry Christmas to you, Ian, and everybody else. Thanks for tuning in. It's kind of an interesting topic and it's very confusing. Uh, where I'm seeing all this stuff people are talking about, and they're kind of freaking out about where the market's going. But I watched a bunch of video on this, and uh, the Haggerty stuff, as far as where the market value was and where these cars were selling at, it was pretty much on par. Uh, and reasonable numbers. Uh, and then I watched another video today where there was like 50 cars that didn't get they weren't sold because they didn't meet reserve. Uh, and of course, they were $10,000 from their reserve, and guys are trying to sell them at the number they bought them at, to try to recoup their money, and of course it's not there. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I'm seeing a positive thing about this. If more right now the problem is it's a supply and demand thing. There's far more cars out there than muscle cars than there is buyers. That's kind of the problem. There's a lot of cars out there right now, and just not enough seats for them all. Another thing that I wanted to talk about that's it's actually more concerning, I think, than this collector car market thing. There's a large auto parts group called First Brand Group, and I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but it's there's been very subtle talk, very not a lot of talk about this, but it's something that's going to affect all of us. So First Brand Group is a huge conglomerate of companies, and they make auto parts. They own like 24 different auto parts companies, and I'll list some of them off here, and you guys are going to recognize all of these. So Cardone, Fram, Autolite, Ray Bestis, Trico, Trico wiper blades, Carter, Phillips to make the headlamp bulbs. Michelin, not the Michelin that sells tires, but the Michelin that sells wiper blades. Also, Reese make hitches, etc. Hopkins and Strong Arm. So these are all uh, common companies that we hear of on a daily basis. Four of these companies are actually brake companies out of the 24. Ray Bestis, very well known. So a lot of these companies actually make for the OE. Original equipment. Ray Bestis is one that makes original equipment for vehicles that come off the line today. So yeah, very common. There's a very large. Uh, these are auto parts that we think about every day that we need to keep our cars on the road. Uh, so what's happening in the last couple of months? This has come up and it's been an issue. So this First Brand Group is actually it's going into receivership. It owes between 10 and 50 billion dollars, which is huge. It's not just this is billions and billions of dollars. They're in receivership. I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to lose a lot of these companies attached to this First Brand Group. And what does that mean? A lot of guys are freaking out about it. They're actually saying we've got to start stocking parts for our cars. I don't know. I hope it doesn't come to that. But guys are saying that you got to start stockpiling stuff for your cars because a common thing like brakes, brake pads, etc., rotors, calipers for our daily drivers, as well as our classic cars, are not going to be around anymore. These companies are going to disappear because of this billion-dollar deficit, multi-billion-dollar deficit they've got going on here. So I don't know. It's kind of scary. Trump talks about, I watched his little speech there the other day, and he talks about how he's bringing manufacturing back to the United States, and he's doing all these things, and wages are going up, and when all the he talks about the big positive game. He's doing lots of talking, but this is very good. This is the last couple of months here of several companies, 24 in fact, auto parts manufacturers that are they're they're crashing hard. They're going to be gone. Some of these have already shut down. So I don't know what that means. I hope something gets repaired there really fast, because we all need brake pads and headlight bulbs and wiper blades, and all that stuff is really important. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. There's not a lot of guys talking about this. I think I saw 3 videos discussing this, and yeah, it's kind of a scary thing. Anyway, I don't want to be a bunch of bad news here today. Speaking of bad news, Greg Biffle, that's terrible. So the first news I caught on that whole deal. So Greg Biffle, if you guys haven't heard, former NASCAR driver, his family, uh, they crashed in a terrible crash. He had 2 children and his wife, and there's 3 other people. 7 people in total died in this crash. This Cessna, it was in North Carolina. It took off and it looped around. There was engine trouble or something. And actually, Greg Biffle's wife sent a text to a family member and said, we're in trouble. And minutes later, they crashed and all perished in this horrible crash in North Carolina. That was Thursday morning at 10:15 in the morning. So yeah, condolences to the family. That's bad time of year. And Greg Biffle, he was such a good guy. It was him and Cletus McFarland, and Greg's actually a pilot. He was a pilot. They don't know if he was piloting in the plane at the time. There's actually 2 people that were qualified pilots that were in the plane at the time, so they don't know if he was in the seat or not. But and regardless, him and Cletus McFarland were involved when the big floods were going on, and I think it was Florida. Uh, and they were actually rescuing people with their helicopters. That was something they did on their own. Uh, so yeah, big loss there. That's a terrible thing. I got to say congratulations to Calvin and Rochelle. Rochelle specifically, her car is going to be on the Valspar calendar for the 2026 calendar, I understand. So the Valspar, if you don't know what that is, it's Valspar Automotive. They make automotive paints, and that's the kind of paint that is on the black 67 Beaumont belonging to Rochelle of the Shifters Car Club. So congrats to you. So from what I understand, and this is right from Kelvin, Kelvin informed me and Ken that Ryan at Ideal Auto Parts, he said that Valspar was actually looking for some candidates for their calendar submission this year, and he mentioned that to Braden, who painted that car with Valspar paint. So him and Ken did the bodywork and paint on that car. If you're wondering, did amazing job, flawless black paint, and it was Valspar. Anyway, that picture was submitted, and from what I understand, the car is on the Valspar 2026 calendar. So congratulations, that's awesome. Awesome to hear that. What else we got here? Joining it. Oh, I've been missing a lot of comments here. Actually, it's cool. Yeah. Don from Moose Jaw. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah. And again, I apologize again, guys. I had a malfunction there. Actually got a nice Christmas present from my wife. It was an early Christmas present, and I don't think it was anything to do with. It was a nice webcam. Got a webcam And we tried to, I don't know if I did something wrong. It's just the old computer I typically use. A good thing we had another laptop here. And I was able to, it took me about 10 minutes to get that thing set up and going. But so I apologize for not being as you know, I was there. I was actually logged on at 4 o'clock sharp, and the thing wasn't working. You couldn't see me or hear me or nothing because the mic and everything is through this stupid webcam that wasn't set up properly. So anyway, guys, uh, certainly give me some feedback on this whole what you think about this classic car market. I know most of you, just like me, are enthusiasts. I know a lot of enthusiasts that even have 10 cars in their garage and still consider themselves enthusiasts versus collectors. And I don't really see a bad thing happening here. We knew that this was eventually going to come down, and it's been a slow, gradual thing, according to what I've seen, anyway. And like I say, the really high end stuff that I will probably never be able to afford is going to stay up there. So no harm, no foul there. And maybe I'll be able to buy another car that I might be interested in, or maybe somebody else, maybe some younger people be able to get back into the hobby. And specifically, this is muscle cars I'm referring to. This is uh, all the videos I've watched and the documents I've read on this. And it's not really a crash, but it's a slow thing. Now, guys are saying that the documents I've read, they're saying that it's going to return to pre-COVID numbers. Well, with some of them, I've seen them go lower than that. I don't know where it's going to end, but it may not be a bad thing. Drivers rented cars class truck. Yeah, actually, a lot of trucks are still doing okay. Greg, you're right. The square bodies are going through the roof. Very popular still. Guys are still. What I'm seeing is specifically the muscle cars that were, way up here. The cars that you could buy for $3,500 when they're brand new, and then they cross the block at Bear Jackson or Mecca auctions, and they're several $1,000,000. There's $100,000, and they're the ones that are coming down. So the 70 Chevelle, there was a 70 Chevelle that actually sold at Mecca. It was Haggerty's numbers were $100,000 for that specific car. That was where the market value was for that one, and it sold for uh, what was it, 93,000, $93,500. So not a huge, it did drop a bit, not a huge amount. And then right after that, there was a 69 Chevelle. The market value was 55,000 for that particular car, and it sold for 69,000. So it's kind of a weird thing. All these cars were uh, numbered 1, 2, 3 to 4. Number one being an absolute perfect concourse level restoration, and then number two, there were some flaws in it, and three, and on down the line, and of course the price would reflect each one. And oddly enough, that 69 Chevelle went for far more than it was actually the market value, as per this fella, that the American Dream Car Garage. Uh, And then the 70, which is kind of the top dog as far as Chevelles go for the last number of years, highly sought after, and it's went for a few grand less. And not a big. Nobody took a bath on this, I don't think, based on what we're seeing. So anyway, very confusing. And then I think it's different in different parts of the country as well. I did, like I said, I saw another Ultimate Muscle Car, I think was the name of that channel. And that guy, he posted an hour-long video of probably 50 cars that went through the auction. I don't know exactly where he was, or what auction it was, but none of them sold because they didn't make the reserve. And some of these cars were beautiful cars. I don't know if they were all number one or twos, but there were beautiful cars that were selling for, or the bid would be about 10 grand shy of what the reserve was, so none of them sold. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Certainly, I'm not concerned. I think I got a message there from Randy on Facebook, another guy. I don't know if he's on here or not, but he's got a '69 Beaumont, fully restored car, beautiful, beautiful car. And he mentioned, well, I built my car for myself. I don't care where the market value is, and I'm very much the same way. Uh, it's bad if it drops. If it obviously if things fall right, I don't think it's going to crash out to where we're all going to lose our shirt on this thing. Uh, like I say, I'm an enthusiast, so I'm going to keep that thing and drive it and enjoy it for as long as I possibly can, and not really worry about where the market value is. And like I said, if I can take advantage of the lower numbers and maybe we can buy something else and play with other things as well. Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah, you're waiting for me to get on. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it was at least 10 minutes before I could get this thing set up on another laptop. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Uh, yeah, guys, I don't know what else. I just wanted to kind of let you know what I found on that. I tried to do a video on this several weeks ago, and I just got really frustrated. I think I did 19 takes, and I wasn't happy with what was. I just never uploaded the video, so I thought I'd maybe test out my new camera that didn't work, and we could talk about this market value on classic cars. And I certainly wanted to share what was going on with the auto parts industry. That's kind of a scary thing. And also, I wanted to take this opportunity to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, so I know we've been on here for about 30 minutes now. I don't want to keep everybody here. Supper time pretty soon. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And keep posted to the channel because Garage Inc., we're going to work something out. We're going to have some hats as a giveaway here very shortly. You'll see, you get a chance to wear, when a nice, this is a Flex Fit hat. These are nice. Super nice deal. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you guys next time. Good night.